Welcome, everybody, to today's session on the platformification of the asset lending ecosystem. With the industry and customer expectations changing, companies are forced to digitally transform the way they work. As the African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. That's why we believe that the best way of supporting lenders in their end-to-end customer journey is through the platformification of our solutions. That way, we can orchestrate different kind of players, each one playing to their different strengths, streamlining transactions. To discuss this topic with us today is Margaret Watanabe and James Powells. Welcome, Margaret. Welcome, James.
Hi. Thank you, Bettina. Well, I hope with this session that we could take together, James and I could take this far. So we'll see how that goes. So I've been in the industry a long time. I've seen a lot of change, and the auto industry is one that truly has an impact on the global market in so many ways, from an economic perspective, as well as from a political, from a personal perspective, because cars mean so much. So we know that to be the case. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about where we've been, where we are today, and where we're going to possibly take that from a larger automotive sales and purchasing and financing perspective. So if we look a little bit back, prior to the pandemic even, we had lots of discussion around the digitization of our business and the e-commerce that's taking place within the vehicle sales and the vehicle financing sides of the world. So we have come a long way, but we had the chance to truly accelerate the pace of that change during the pandemic, where everyone was looking for a greater need to be able to, whether it was buy cars, to move forward with the purchase and the financing and the choices that were out there from a mobile perspective. So we had the digitization and the disruption. Now, in today's world, now we actually have quite a bit of change that continues to operate. And we're putting the dealers and the OEMs together, the finance companies, the consumers are all looking for ways to, again, continue at that pace. But we have pace. However, we have some walls that are coming up again. We know that the economic situation is hurting many global markets. We have the vehicle supply chain issues and how that's impacting the pricing and the values of the cars. We have the pressures around the electrification of vehicles that are really impacting not only the current structure of the marketplace, but also looking to where we're going to be going with how to maintain those vehicles and finance those vehicles. We're looking at the cybersecurity and privacy issues that are coming up. The regulatory legislative bodies across the world are putting more impact on the way we do buy and sell cars. And so we know all of that's changing the way consumers think about this process, and they're looking for low touch, efficient ways to go into the marketplace. And they're looking at all the options that they've had around them, whether it be the way they can buy cars, buy anything in the marketplace, have it delivered to them, have their food delivered to them. We just are in a new world where things happen very much at the swipe of our fingers, possibly at the click of a button. And so with all of that in mind, we know that our world's changing, and it's quite exciting, but also challenging at the same time. And James, I don't know, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would, Marguerite. And, again, you as expected, you've put that in a really articulate way. I've been in the industry a long time, not as long as you, and certainly not as deeply embedded in the industry. But yeah, I really would reflect back on what you're saying. Now, I think we're, after many, many years of, the auto industry is known as saying, well, we're moving, but things are still fundamentally the same. I think what we're seeing now is real and significant change. And I think right at the heart of that, as you said, is really the consumer behaviors, consumer buying habits, and really, I think the need on the consumer side for flexibility and choice. That's what's driving it. And then obviously you overlay across that technological advancements. And we know that a lot of the technologies that are in play now have been in place for a long, long time. Also, the point you made, the pandemic can't be underestimated, how much that has accelerated all that change. We're really seeing that things that have been out there for a while from a technology perspective are now real and embedded in the process. And then the other thing I don't think we can forget is the sustainability agenda in the boardroom, and also the kind of need for the consumer to be looking at sustainability as well. So all of that for me means that what we're now looking at is a genuine acceleration of digitization of the existing model, if you like, with new channels and new financial products developing out of the back of that. But we're also moving into a second phase where we're looking at new business models emerging, and you only need to talk about usage, subscription models, mobility as a service being good examples of that. I would say when I look at the situation, I look at the whole industry, the commentary in the industry, I think is well, I think it's a lot of people agree that the winners are going to be the people that are able to be agile and can move with this change. And you know, coming back to the topic of this conversation, you know, looking at it from an ecosystem perspective, is those that can leverage the ecosystem, accept that there's change in the ecosystem, and kind of get a central position in that will be the kind of winners.
Well, and the winners are also, I think, going to take into consideration a number of levels. So we also have the multiple parties that we're talking about, right? With the OEMs, with the dealers, and of course, all looking to help sell those to the consumers. But the consumers are changing as well, with consumers being both the personal consumer as well, the commercial side, which is growing rapidly. You know, throughout, again, so that they can deliver all the goods to us. That's part of it, right? But you know, we see that we have the consumer, the commercial side. We see that we have EV cars and ICE cars. We have new vehicles and used vehicles. You know, right? We're going to have that whole level. It's almost a matter of where do you prioritize your business now, and we see some of the OEMs beginning to tap into that. Have you started to look at that as well?
Yeah, for sure. So we've invested a lot of money over the last few years in the things that we know are changing in a certain direction. So if you think about the ecosystem play that I talked about just now, really the platform that sits around that, the platformification part of this is an enabler to leverage that ecosystem. And we're not trying to reinvent the wheel there, because we're really leveraging our strengths and the investments we've made over a number of years in things like our core digital processing engines and the ability to be able to have APIs to talk to different systems around that. The SaaS delivery model, which is all about moving fast and being able to deliver things quickly. We're leveraging all of that and taking a much more structured approach with the platform to enable us to be able to, as we said just now, to be orchestrate transactions is the way I would put it, by leveraging different services in the ecosystem and delivering value to our customers. So we're not reinventing the wheel, we're just building upon a lot of the investments we've made over a number of years. And I think the important thing here, Marguerite, is listening to our customers in the same way as I think the consumer is driving the change in the industry. We need to listen to our customers about what they think the changes are.
Well, and I would say that has to go with all phases of that process, which are again changing. But you have the sales and marketing side of things, the origination side, which is changing to an e-mobile environment. You know, you have the e-funding and the whole e-contracting side of things from both the consumer as well as the dealer side. You're going to also have the self-service, you know, whether it's a self-service for consumers, self-service for dealers. Again, that's going to be more and more in demand. And then even with the remarketing side of things, right? How does all that play into this? So there are multiple phases throughout the life cycle of the product, but really what it comes down to, I think, and what we're seeing across the board, is the fact that the partners can actually work together. And so it would go back to Bettina's comment about being able to go far together. And so the platform has got to be able to integrate all the different data sets. It would have to integrate all the processes into one. And I think that's important as well across the board, with all the players, and probably even on a global basis as well.
Yeah, and I think, Marguerite, the if you think about the role of a traditional software company, which I've been involved in that for a long time. I think you look at most of the software companies, and what they always felt was they need to keep building more of their own things, their own assets to be able to serve their customers. I think there's been a real mindset shift now that we don't want to try and do everything. We can't possibly do everything, and the more you build, the more you build technical debt and legacy and so on and so forth. So I think there's been a real realization in the industry with all players, software companies and the other major players in there, that what you need to do is you need to leverage what's already there. It's an extension of the best of breed approach. Is there's things that we're really good at. I mentioned it earlier, digital processing engines, being able to talk to other systems. And really what we've done over the years is talk to those systems from a technical perspective. And what we're talking about now is being a lot more clever about how we bring those together through the platform and leverage those ecosystem players. So it's not trying to do too much yourself, but doing the appropriate things and then leveraging the other good things that other organizations are doing to deliver customer value.
Well, and I think it becomes even more important in today's world with the connected vehicles, right? So the connected vehicles is almost a good analogy of how the car is no longer going to become just a piece of metal with lots of things under the hood. It's going to be more of a vehicle that's going to allow you to interact with, whether it be your kid's school or the grocery store or anything else that you're dealing with. That connected car becomes a part of your life.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, you just hit on something there as well that kind of underpins all of this. We firmly believe that, I know it's a bit of a cliche, but data underpins everything that we should be doing and our customers are doing as well. And obviously then the data richness that you're going to get out of the connected car as that develops is going to be huge as well. But as you said, there's going to be some barriers that you mentioned earlier, around regulation and legalities.
Well, and data ownership and who can monetize what, right? The whole privacy issues that come with that, with the consumer. So yes, there are lots of things, but any challenge can also be looked upon as an opportunity as well. So I think that's what we'll see here. And so with that in mind, maybe it's a good time to listen to what some of your customers, as you were saying, you listen to customers on a regular basis. So what are your customers saying?
Yeah, indeed. So I hope that people have found interesting and insightful what we've just said. But I think you're right. The best way of really drawing this out is through the customers. And we've asked some of our customers to set us some challenges, and we've had some experts that are going to respond to that. So again, some demonstration of the fact that what the customer thinks is what's really important.
Can you share more on how SBS is positioning itself as the primary cloud-based platform for the auto and asset lending ecosystem?
So a cloud-native approach has been in our DNA for the better part of 30 years. There appears to be an irreversible and accelerating shift to public cloud utility models for delivering infrastructure, delivering scale with variable cost, and increasingly a unique set of services are difficult or impossible to match using legacy in-house or private cloud models. I think at Sopra, we've invested and continue to invest in cloud-native solutions and creating a safe path for the transition to cloud. We actively support our customers in their respective cloud journeys by providing thought, leadership, and expertise.
How can Sopra help us drive friction out for our customers and make sure that they're able to succeed in whichever way they want to use our platform and through whichever channel?
Sopra are adding a number of key partners to their platform strategy to deal with a number of different use cases that they want to put their customer applicants through, particularly on the credit and risk journey. Our focus is very much on creating digital solutions for each step of that journey. So whether that's an open banking connection, for example, to speed up the financial health assessment of the business, or it's a KYC integration that is verifying the background of the directors in the business and assuring the lender that they're dealing with an appropriate customer opportunity. It might be ingesting credit bureau data or financial spread data from a third party that is able to supply that through a REST API solution, so that everything can really be brought into view very quickly inside the lender's transactional or loan origination platform. And of course, we built a product that deals with those things, but we can also work with our partners to create integrations into other platforms as well. So whatever the lender wants to do really to create a more frictionless journey, we've got a partner or partners in different geographies and locations around the world now, and an emerging panel that provide those solutions. Other examples are, for example, e-sign solutions, and also just the very process of verifying the location of the asset as well. So audit solutions and asset valuation solutions would form part of that product platform as well. Bringing all those together, really, it's about giving the lender a series of choices, how they can speed up and digitalize their processes, eliminate waste, eliminate friction, particularly with having to go back to customers and ask them again for something or ask them for a missing component. That can be very frustrating and time consuming. It can lead to deals being lost, obviously, if things get a little bit messy and too many questions go back and forth. Customers can quite often sort of lose interest and perhaps go to another lender where they're treated differently and perhaps have a different customer journey and experience with that lender. So I guess summarising all that, we're very much aligned to bringing all these partner solutions into our product platform to really do three things in summary: improve the efficiency of the operation, whether that's credit or risk management, to drive faster processes as well, so things happen quicker and there's less waste. And on that waste point, I think reduce the cost to serve. Processing credit applications can be a very expensive thing for a lender to do if they don't have highly efficient operations. And working with our partner panel, and I think we can bring lots of value to a lender in driving out cost as well as making things go faster and better for the end user experience as well.
As the business climate is rapidly changing, how do you see the platform meeting today's needs, but yet nimble enough to pivot to meet our future needs?
So the pandemic and global economic instability combined with rapid innovation in asset technology will require a shift in business models. And those business models will need to be more consumer-centric. We think that this transition will be more gradual over time. However, it will shift the current business models. Organizations with successful and profitable businesses will need to rethink their technology strategies and quickly decide to transform for the medium term. I think at Sopra, we offer various solutions to transform a business over time to be more digital and agile. The solutions we offer continue to evolve as the market does. We think that our evergreen software means that customers access this evolution organically rather than through significant projects every couple of years to keep up with the industry.
We are obviously very invested in the realization of Sopra's digital transformation and cloud migration. What is the motivating factor behind the push to the cloud and the API-driven ecosystem?
So I think one of the biggest challenges facing mature and established organizations is maintaining the balance between nimbleness in an ever-evolving business environment while running a successful, tried and tested business model. We're seeing more and more the pressures of time to market in business evolution. TCO and agility in the market drive the need for SaaS-type standardized products. And whilst we also recognize the importance of compliance and complex integrations and customization when needed, I think the critical question is how organizations bring a SaaS-type mentality and deliver to complex mission-critical LOB applications. I think at Sopra, we focused a significant portion of our strategy and efforts in deconstructing the proverbial monolith into smaller, more consumable pieces. Our products and services can deliver very quickly in a standard form whilst allowing some scope for individualization. So I think that the more our customers can consume our products and services really easy, the easier it is for them to scale, and that's critically what's driving our strategy going into the future.
A key to Navuna's ongoing success is in relation to our overall customer journey and making our processes as simple and seamless as possible. A question I have is, what are Sopra doing to enhance and elevate their reporting functionality? And to drill into that, is there an option for users to create bespoke or customized reports which will benefit their day-to-day business?
There's a lot of capability out in the marketplace now in terms of reporting solutions. I think we can see that's moved on a long way over the last few years. And I think where Sopra can bring value to their customers, to our customers, is about how to get the data into those reporting solutions, and then what sort of insights and analysis to perform on that data is the next step. But quite often I see our customers are running quite monolithic projects sometimes in terms of creating data lakes in their organization to bring all that data in perhaps different systems they've got in their bank or their finance company into one view, and then putting it somewhere else to analyze it. And that isn't necessarily required anymore. I think what you can do is create some very tactical API connections to bring data out of, say, a retail consumer financing system for a wholesale floor plan system and perhaps off capital loan platform, and bringing all that into one place through smart API connections, and then doing the manipulation to create that data analysis capability that a lender's looking for in their business. So a typical use case would be to look at a dealer, for example, where you want to aggregate perhaps that consumer information, the wholesale floor plan information, and the capital loan information. Perhaps that dealer's running a capital loan with you as well. So you want to take a single view of the total revenue you're making from that dealer. You might want to be looking at the net margins you're making on a combined basis, looking at your risk exposure in terms of the pay down of the capital loan, for example, and where they are in that cycle. All bringing that all together, it's really about having those insights and the ability to bring that data rapidly and in a very up-to-date format as well into one place. And of course, that's why having a neat set of API connections and the right design for that data to be brought into a platform where it can be manipulated on a timely basis is important. Many of those sort of data points you might want to look at in daily or weekly format, but in other cases you might want to be looking at real-time volumes of applications coming in from customers, for example, where you're looking to have real-time feeds coming in, and again that can be done through use of intermediary layers like GraphQL or other platforms that can move that data in real time from one place to another. And it's really about having an architecture approach as well to say, this is all the data I want to look at, this is how I want to analyze it, and then working through that with a pretty rapid program, and avoiding having a large project here that perhaps stretches for months and years, and trying to do it quickly and building capability in a short term to understand and get value quicker. I think data projects work best if the business can see it's getting value back. The finance teams are then quite often willing to invest more money in feeding those projects because they can see the real value coming back out quickly rather than saying it's going to come out in 12 or 18 months, for example. I think what Sopra understand is how to connect everything together, and they understand the different systems, they understand how that be all brought together in one view. And we also have business insight capability as well to then start thinking about what are those data points you want to look at in your business. So because putting that all together, I think whilst we work with different customers in different ways on reporting solutions, what we do, the value we bring is how to orchestrate those solutions into the lender's platform capability and connect their different platforms, including the Sopra platforms, together and bringing all that into one single view rapidly. So I think that's where we add the value.
What are the key components that Sopra's platform will cover to support the end-to-end customer journey and lending lifecycle? As a follow-up to that, how is Sopra working with other solution providers to fill any gaps?
So often organizations focus on digitizing their core transaction engines while the rest of their business is hampered by manual processes. This results in inefficient decision-making and risk management and stifles the ability of the business to scale and respond quickly to changes in the industry. Firms with this issue typically have overly burdensome control environments. It's very manual. I think at Sopra, we've got a really deep understanding of our customers' end-to-end business, all the way from onboarding, credit management, contract management, then the actual transaction, and then the risk management that follows, and all of that wrapped up within sort of an account management capability where you can transact and communicate with your customers. I think we focused our efforts over the past few years on creating a platform that combines digitized solutions that work together to solve end-to-end for the business itself. We seamlessly connect to the market-leading ecosystem partners through APIs, so customers can consume these services depending on their bespoke business requirements. For me, some of the key partners are our credit scoring capabilities, its credit review capabilities, its contract management capabilities. And so as we continue to build and focus on those sort of things, we think that we'll go where the industry takes us, where the industry wants to go. We'll partner with the organizations that are leading the way in terms of automating and reimagining and rethinking business as a whole.
As a newly independent dealer here in the U.S., the process to join with a floor plan company was quite manual and also time consuming. We had to meet in person to sign documents, for example. What kind of solution do you have or would you have for some of the companies that we work with over here to make that process more streamlined and less time consuming and disruptive?
Here at Sopra, we understand that the process of opening an account with a financial organization on the B2B sector can be particularly difficult and painful process sometimes. There's an awful lot of information that needs to be collated by the lender before they make a decision. And once they've made that decision, there's then generally quite a lot of documentation to sign before you can actually get the account into a live state to use it. So we're working with a number of key partners in the industry to assemble the right sort of components in our platform to actually make this process a lot less painful for dealers and customers of our lenders. So some examples of what we're doing are forming open banking partnerships where the financial health of a business can be checked very quickly by the lender. That information can be brought into our systems by API connections so that the lenders team have instant visibility of that data in the credit process. We've also got a partner, for example, that offers video identity call opportunity with the end customer, so with the directors of the business or the owners of the business. So that enables the lender to actually speak to those individuals over a video call and ascertain their sort of background and their credentials, look at their passport and so on and so forth, and to complete AML and KYC checks. There's quite a few other examples of partnerships that we're assembling, but they're all really aimed at full digital integration of the credit decision, the onboarding process, and then the ongoing management of that process. Typically, a lender will do annual credit reviews or may do them more often if a line increase is required. For example, they might do another credit review within 3 or 4 months of the start of the contract or the agreement. And then I think another pain point is signing documentation. So we have e-sign solutions in our business, in our product platform, which create the ability to have the lender send out the documents, both the lending agreements and the security and guarantee and collateral documents, and have them e-signed by the various directors and counterparties to the lending. So that process can also be turned from a wetting process to a digital process. And I guess if you bring all that together and look at what we're doing there, assembling those partners in that product platform capability, it's about having a total end-to-end digital solution where you're minimizing the pain both for the applicant, for the dealer or the customer, and also for the lender. Because obviously the more paperwork that's called for, things have to be analysed manually. That brings in costs for the lender, but it also asks the dealer or the customer to send in documents, and sometimes those are quite hard to assemble. So the more that can be gathered from digital sources like open banking and credit bureaus and AML platforms, then that's reducing the burden on both the applicant and the lender. And we believe by doing that, we can help lenders speed up their credit decision process and also maintain a more efficient credit cycle in their portfolio as well.
Obviously, Sopra has a huge amount of data around how our dealer clients are using the platform and what they're buying and how long they're holding it for and so on, not just with us, but with other businesses like ourselves. It would be great to get insight into how the industry is changing how dealer behavior is changing, and what we can learn from that.
Our process engines do hold enormous amounts of data, so certainly quantity isn't a challenge. And clearly isolated data in itself has limited value. And the trick really is in combining the data sets together to drive out consumable, useful information and insight. So I think, yes, we are conscious of the power and the potential that exists within our systems in terms of the stored data. And I'd say that all of our strategic products and their roadmaps contemplate the need to convert that potential into real business value. So we are continually planning and making our next steps, and in some cases building out such things as our MI capability through the digital engagement platform. However, we definitely want to do more. We want to do more for the industry. We want to do more for individual customers, because we've had a long running desire to be a data hub and produce our own insights using the data, providing behavioral insights, general analytics, and say input into risk management models. So this becomes a key deliverable of the platform strategy, because through that we'll be able to give we'll be able to better leverage data and provide better insight. However, there are challenges in participating in a data ecosystem that we need to carefully consider, from ensuring we adopt the right data sharing model through to the complexities of data sharing agreements, and of course relevant legislation such as competition law. However, we still think we can unlock the power through our ability to manage large data sets, and through carefully selecting the data so that we have a positive impact on competition, we have a positive impact on our customers, and perhaps most importantly, we have a positive impact on the end user customer.
Is with the future development of ecosystems to deliver the optimal customer journey, different partners will be managing different stages of the process and will also be collecting, holding, and utilizing customer data. How do you see the ownership of the customer data and ongoing compliance with regulations such as GDPR being managed in this scenario?
As we develop our ecosystems to deliver services to our customers, the protection of data remains an important topic. However, the ownership of customer data does not change. SBS will continue to be the data processor under the terms of the GDPR, with our customers still being the data controller, i.e. the owner. It will be SBS's responsibility to ensure all ecosystems and the partners who manage those ecosystems design and operate services with the protection of data and information security firmly in mind. Those partners who cannot guarantee data processing controls and integrity will not be part of our overall service.
How can Sopra Financing Platform enhance our record in terms of decarbonisation of the supply chain?
Well, working closely with our customers is embedded deep in our DNA, and removing the friction in their end-to-end journey has underpinned much of the development of the Sopra Financing Platform. With many of our team having worked as a lender or within the auto and equipment finance industries, this has further supported our vision of delivering market-led products and led to a deep understanding of the industries our platform supports. Our position on ESG and where we can support carbon reduction targets that many of our customers are now having to implement has been carefully crafted. We've had a cloud-first strategy for many years, reducing both ours and our clients' carbon footprint significantly by reducing the carbon footprint of maintaining a physical data center. All our core SFP capabilities have been designed as SaaS offers, and digital audit is one of these. It has been developed to run completely in the cloud. And when SFP digital audit is implemented by customers, it helps improve carbon reduction targets through being a digital self-audit application that any dealership can run from their mobile phone, eliminating the need for every floor plan audit to be completed by a physical auditing team. This leads to zero additional travel being required, with the data delivered digitally in real time straight to the lenders. It removes the additional paperwork a physical audit can add to the process, further helping with the ESG-related lender objectives. Sopra Banking Software and its parent Sopra Steria have had stringent emission reduction goals in place for many years, working closely with our clients and wider stakeholders to make sure the impact on our planet and its people is really positive.
Question to the team today is around sort of the green initiative moving forward. It'd be great to understand what your views are in terms of assets moving forward. The currently predominantly wholesale systems are hard assets. How do you see sort of the future in terms of green assets being more sort of soft touch and adapting to those needs and requirements in the future?
Great question, Chris, given the urgency of environmental issues in the world today. At the outset, I think it's important to note that Sopra Banking Software is committed to fighting climate change, and environmental causes are at the heart of our company-wide strategy. Our aim is to be net carbon neutral by 2028. It's no surprise then that our software solutions should enable lenders to provide wholesale funding for the green asset sector, and that it's top of mind for us. Because this landscape is evolving and will continue to do so, the best way to achieve a holistic wholesale stock funding solution for non-traditional asset types will be via bespoke APIs and open banking solutions, and with some changes to your funding rules and policies. Putting these into place will allow you as a lender to open your existing wholesale offering to new types of assets and suppliers, and to manage the risks appropriately. In addition, selecting a digital audit solution for your on-book auditing process would be a smart choice, as it offers you a reduced carbon footprint. So if you're a lender that's considering green assets on your wholesale system, talk to us today, as we would welcome the opportunity to make it a reality.
What are the moonshot ideas the leadership team is considering to realize this ambitious vision?
Our vision is for a single connected marketplace of lenders, borrowers, asset providers, and data service providers operating on a single information exchange in real time across the world. This would let you choose who you partner with from amongst all the members and transact freely without the costs and hassle of building bespoke connections with each new business partner. It would also allow all our members to share the burden of compliance while still giving each organization the freedom to offer a unique customer service and commercial offering. We see our future as a transaction orchestrator that quietly and reliably keeps this information exchange moving in the background. How would this vision help you? Well, it could dramatically lower the running costs and expansion costs of finance companies, dealers, and OEMs, while providing consumers with an excellent experience. It would also enable reliable, low-cost management of data and traceable ownership of data rights. Now, let's say you agree with this vision. How would we get there, and why is this a moonshot? Well, we see the key elements as being, 1, the creation of the background technical tools. You can leave that bit to us. 2, the participation of forward-thinking finance companies and OEMs, and through them, the cooperation of service providers. We can use your help for this. And the third part is creating a network of partners around us to tailor added value services for individual organizations. And this is something that we can work together on.
Wow, that was great information that we just heard there. And it again emphasizes the need that we all have to work together, and that we're going to be able to have many opportunities in front of us to truly accelerate the pace of the change and the digitization of our business.
Yes, thanks, Marguerite. And also a big thanks to all the customers who contributed to this. I hope everybody's found this really interesting, and you can see that we're really thinking about the way that this industry is moving with the help of people like Marguerite and obviously listening to our customers. So thank you very much. We'll hand back over to you in the studio, Bettina.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, James. Thank you, Marguerite, and all our customers for these very interesting discussions. Indeed, as we move forward, we do believe that leveraging an ecosystem will be the best way to go as far as possible and as fast as possible. We're looking forward to see you in another summit session, and thank you once again for turning in. Goodbye.
Steady.